where the experts meet. Online learning, practical and sweet. Every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Time. YouTube, Facebook, X, and LinkedIn. Online.
Hey, good morning and welcome everyone. This is Euronurse and my name is Vic Senese. Welcome to the show. Hey, if you're checking us out for the first time and you haven't liked and subscribed to our channels, go ahead and do that, won't you? Hey, we got a great show for you today. I'm going to be talking about, it'll be me speaking, which is a little change. And I'm going to be talking about AI, one of my favorite subjects. You know, it is changing so much. I can't believe it. I was working on this program that I was going to put on this week. And in the time that I started this program, there's been another major change. I'll talk a little bit about what it is and just kind of keep you going on what to expect. But I am also going to try something different. I thought, let's challenge myself really to something impressive here. So I've set this thing up as a different way to give a presentation. It's going to be a combination of slides and videos and me. And I've set it up in something called scenes. Now I got to do a lot of pushing buttons to get these things to work. It'd be nice if I had a production crew to do all this for me, but it's just little old me. So if it goes perfect, and I'm saying if a big if, I'm going to be impressed. If it doesn't go perfect, then, cut me a little slack because, it's the only way to learn is to try stuff. So, hey, let's get going right now. That important. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about it, and I'm going to do a demonstration of all that good stuff, what gets involved in prompting. But nope, if you have a bad prompt, you're going to have everything else not work out. So let's talk a little bit. we're on ChatGPT, and I pasted in that title that I came up with, or my idea. Now you saw that little thing that happened was something called text expander. So here's my prompt. I pre-type it, and I create this shortcut through this thing called text expander. It works on Mac, .yt. So all I got to do is type .yt, and it expands out to that great big program like you saw there. So now we can go ahead and let ChatGPT do its thing. So here we go. We can see that it's showing us those 3 optimized SEO titles. SEO, that's important. The search engine optimization. You pick one, cut and paste it into your program. And now we need a long description. Now, for me to type this out would take quite a while. Not nearly as fast as ChatGPT can do it. And remember, it's SEO optimized, so it's going to hopefully help the search engine find the show. And we can see there it's got all that information going in there. And it looks good. It even creates bullet points. Now, here's the 2 things I said make sure you include. Subscribe to my channel. Right there, it threw it in there. And then my non-disclosure that I throw in on all these things, make sure you include it. Automatically put into the program. All right, so I found the problem is when I was backstage, I didn't have myself backstage properly, and that's why you couldn't hear me. Sorry about that. Hopefully that video part of it explained it. But let's keep rolling on. Now, remember I said thumbnail when I was talking about that. Well, you know, that's good. You actually kind of need almost like an artist to do some of that work for you. And okay. And this is the program I was telling you about, Flow, which uses Nano Banana, but it's going to be our video creation tool. It's how I create most of the stuff that I use as promos, and we're going to show you how we go ahead and do that by hitting Create with Flow. By the way, free until you start getting into bigger projects, then you probably need to upgrade, but I always start with the free stuff and get used to it first. So we're going to create a new project. Now, the nice thing about Flow is you can add, so we're going to take and go, remember I talked to you about these are ways of creating videos, frames to videos, text to video, ingredients to video. And what I'm going to be doing is ingredients to video. And I'm going to take, because I'm doing a promo for Jeff's show, like I said, that's coming up. Whoops, got the wrong video. Here we go. Here's the right video for that. At GPT. And of course, I've got one of these shortcuts. So create a prompt for an optimized thumbnail on, and there's our title that we went with. You're going to find that sometimes using one AI agent to prompt another AI agent is the way to go. So here we see it's creating optimized thumbnail prompt. Here's our prompt coming up. All the information that Nano Banana, and we're going to be using a program called Google Flow that uses Nano Banana. I use it because it's so much more accurate. It gives you some other options if I wanted something else to do, but here's our prompt. I can just simply go ahead and grab that, copy it, and you're going to create a new project. And again, Nano Banana works in Flow. I'm going to use another description because Flow is one of my go-tos for creating short videos too. So here's our new project, and here's the options. You can create an image, add ingredients to create a video, frames to video, or text to video. So it's really a video creation, but this create an image is using, right here you can see Nano Banana. So let's throw our prompt into there. Why I use Flow? Because it's going to get the spelling correct more often. It'll always create the right size because the thumbnail should be 16 by 9. And sometimes these other programs don't get that so well. Anyway, let's go ahead and put it to the test. By the way, perfectly free. Now here's our nice looking prompt. Why am I leaking after I'm done? This guy looks like he's not too happy about it. Gives you two options. If you don't like either one of them, maybe you thought this one was closer to what you like. Let's try it again. So again, we'll see a little variation. Now these are really optimized for getting people to click on your video. You want these big titles like that. You want some guy who looks like he's worried he's in a bathroom. Yeah, so then you just download it and we'll be able to absolutely use that as our thumbnail. That blows my mind. I don't know about you guys. So when you go to creating the artistry and the composure, and if you're looking at social media and you're kind of flipping through videos and what do you want to watch, it's always going to be the thing that kind of grabs your attention. So by asking it to SEO, asking it to create something that's optimized for YouTube videos, it knows. One of the things you'll find out about AI knows how to trick AI. So always go with whatever it tells you to do. So I like to use it to make those art things, and you're going to see some further artwork coming up in a moment here. I knew I was going to have a couple of hitches there. Pulled the wrong video. Oh, well. So such is life. Oops. Just want to make sure I want to make sure my audio was still on. Another thing that I created or worked on, it's called, no, let's see. I don't want that one. I want flow. All right, let me see here. I got a little goofed up on my notes here, folks. So let's go back a step here. That one I started to show you is something called flow. So whenever I go and create a video presentation, you want to promote it. So you got to come up with a little quick, at the end of every episode, you notice I've got that kind of interesting little video clip. That's another thing, another superpower that flow has, is it can create a lot of video items for you. It's really its most powerful production part is video. So let's go on to that one. I'm going to get some pictures here. And this is the speaker that's going to be speaking this week with him. And then let's see here. Where's Jeff? There's Jeff. This is a picture that I have of Jeff. And so what I do is need to tell it how the video should look. We'll give it that little bit of dialogue to talk about, and let's see what we get. So here we go. So this is what it generated. There's Jeff and the speaker. They've never been together like this. Let's see what they say.
Cycles of blame soften with acceptance work. Yeah.
It fosters empathy, creating meaningful change without pressure.
Cycles of blame soften with acceptance work. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. All right. Now we just go ahead and download that just like that. So the other thing is I could take text to video, and let's see what that would generate since I get one more shot here, and we'll see what we get. Now this time I didn't give it any pictures, so we're just going with a straight text to video. This is a little bit out of the description. And there we go.
My keys. The goal isn't to eliminate conflict, but to understand it.
The data shows that couples who utilize active listening techniques.
My keys. The goal isn't to eliminate conflict.
So you can see these are short videos. I think they run about 9 seconds, 7 seconds, something like that. I'm probably not going to use the speech bubble in any of this. Oh, here we go, 5 seconds. I'm not going to run the speech bubble with it, but I do want the clip. So you can see I've got my narration in a deep male voice with jazz music in the background and what we want it to say. And now it's just generated that for us. So let's see what we get.
In this episode, Dr. Jeff sits down with couple therapist and co-developer of integrative behavioral couple therapy, Dr. Andrew Christensen, who will explore the powerful interplay between acceptance and change, 2 essential forces that help couples move from conflict and defensiveness toward compassion, flexibility, and deeper emotional connection. Join us on March 3rd at 7 p.m. Central Time to learn more.
Now, just in case you didn't quite catch that, so that was AI that's also built into Google's labs that's created that voice. So you don't have to do your own narration anymore, and the voices are getting to be crazy good. And then even through a little background, it's something called Lyria, just came out, breaking news. And it'll write songs for you. I use one we're going to talk about called Suno in a little bit, which I think is much better, but it's pretty darn cool to see what it's able to do. So let's get back over to our Flow demo. So as I said, I took the narration using that Lyria new program. I just started messing with it, so haven't really had a lot of chance to play with that too much. But anyway, I've got that right over here. So this is a program I use that's called ScreenFlow. It's an editing software. It's really simple to use, but I'm going to create that little intro thing for Dr. Jeff's show. And this is that little dialogue that we just did. And now I'm going to throw his video stuff above it. You'll see how it kind of plays together now. So all I'm missing now is a little more information about where to join us. So we're going to throw a text thing in here.
In this episode, Dr. Jeff sits down with world-renowned couple therapist, Dr. Andrew Christensen, co-developer of integrative behavioral couple therapy. He will explore the powerful interplay between acceptance and change, 2 essential forces that help couples move from conflict and deeper emotional connection. Join us on March 3rd at 7 p.m. Central Time to learn more.
Yeah, so there you have it. You can create your own promo videos, being your own producer, all using different AI agents. This Flow is great at making videos. The thing I like about Flow is you can take a picture off the internet. Be careful, folks. It'll do this, of somebody that you're going to be talking to, no matter where they live. You've never met them before. Put it in with your own picture and let AI generate a situation that didn't really exist. The 2 of them together chatting. And it's pretty close to how they really look. So it's almost, I call it scary good sometimes. And then the voice for doing the voiceovers, that was really cool. And then again, some of that, a little bit of editing that I have to do with this program. I've done video editing most of my life because I got my first camcorder, started finding it more interesting if you edit stuff. So, but AI makes everything quicker and probably better looking. I think I just figured out I was off camera again. Sorry about that, folks. So this is Notebook LM, and it is just a crazy new product. It does your own research for you. Will pick up everything that you're supposed to be, you want to, look for, do the research. It reads the articles, puts the articles in the right context. And at the end of it, you can tell it to create a production like slideshow or whatever. If you want to be putting on a presentation like we're doing here today, it'll create the slides for you. So I'm going to demo it because I think demoing it is always the best way to show how they. All right, so this is what notebook looks like. I'm going to give this a title here. So this is an upcoming talk that I'm looking at doing for EuroNurse. So I'm going to do some research actually using post-vasectomy pain long-term. Actually had somebody from the somebody write in about that they wanted me to talk about this. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and do that. So we can do fast research for quick results or deep research for in-depth report and results. I think I'm going to do a deep dish. I must be hungry. A deep one. So it's kind of told me that this is going to take a while. Planning, feel free to leave. So I will use the magic of editing to speed this up for you guys. So I'm doing some research right now, and one of the things that you could do is actually put a link in, such as this YouTube link on post-vasectomy pain syndrome. Somebody did a short discussion. It's going to be a website, so post that link in there. So the first one that came up was a comprehensive analysis of post-vasectomy pain syndrome. That sounds like it's what we want. Oh, yeah, that looks good. A nice, juicy. So we're going to definitely want to have this information. Let's see what else. Post-vasectomy pain syndrome, a review of literature. Sounds reasonable. If we want to take a look at the literature, we can read it. So yeah, I definitely want to include that one. Look, so now we're going to import these. So it's actually going to go out and bring those in. This is going to change completely how we do research. And now we're going to ask it to. Okay, so create a 20-minute slideshow presentation on post-vasectomy pain long-term based on the research. This should be for healthcare workers. So we don't want this for a lay audience. We want this for healthcare workers because it's going to EuroNurse. All right, now we're going to get that going here. And it's going to start cranking through and crafting out a slide deck. All right, so our vasectomy slides are ready to go here. We just saw that pop up here. Let's take a quick peek at what it came up with. So now I have to say, I think some of these slides are really, really good. I'm kind of learning as we go here, folks. Let's bring them up and see what they look like. So post-vasectomy pain syndrome, really nice and anatomical picture. Clinical guidelines based on the AUA, 1 to 2% reported incidence of life-impacting pain. Meta-analysis, and it's giving all the people that are, the research where it was found, up to 15% incidence of any chronic pain. Approximately 5% meet PVPS criteria. The silent cohort, a significant disparity exists between guideline data and patient reality. Symptoms often manifest 7 to 24 months post-procedure, creating a follow-up gap where chronic discomfort is underreported. Defining the syndrome and the human cost. The diagnostic threshold, greater than 3 months of intermittent pain or constant pain. The etiology, the multifactorial triad. It kind of gives nice information. It really gives some nice pictures. Talks about sperm granuloma. Talks about the neurological, how you can get a neuroma formation. These are pretty good slides to, try to do this yourself. Talks about which muscles tend to be needed to look at. Sometimes this is like a pelvic floor issue. So some diagnostic sperm cord block, greater than 50% pain relief by injecting the sperm cord. Negative result suggests central sensitization or referred surgical denervation is likely to fail. Solution treatment, conservative therapy, talks about NSAIDs, physical modality. Again, really nice slides. Now, one of the drawbacks is these slides are created as PDFs, which means you can't go in there and edit things on them. But that's going to change. There's going to be a way you can actually change what you have on the slides. So as you can kind of see, this is really, and I'm just blown away by these really nice anatomical pictures it came up with, and then how it puts the success rates and things, and includes some of the studies. And last resort, actually removing the testicle for intractable pain. So it's really kind of covers everything, a little summary of all this. That's really super cool. Yeah. For somebody who's done a lot of content creation in my life, I've started using AI to try to help generate some of the slides, but I mean, this is crazy. The artwork and everything without my going into in-depth how it should be done. And I think as you can kind of see, it takes this all based on research and gives you the quote of where it was getting this research pulled from. So I'm just taking an early dive into this program myself already. And again, I've used it now for 2 weeks, so I'm still learning a lot. It's already been updated, and they can now edit the slide. You can see something in the slide you don't want it, tell it get rid of it. It'll get rid of it for you. All right, so now let's see here. Let's go on. We're going to talk a little bit more about our musicians friends. So you've noticed all my shows have their own little lyrical intro theme music. I create that with the program called Suno, and Suno is the video production software that I use. It's the best that I can find, and I'm a musician, so I can tell you that I know how music is composed, and I've done plenty of production work myself, been in recording studios. This is crazy what you can come up with. So anyway, let's show you a little bit about how you do that. I started using it because I didn't like to always dictate or do the voiceovers for some of the promo stuff. So So this was a talk I was giving on phimosis. If you or someone has trouble retracting the foreskin, it could be phimosis, a common condition that can affect males of all ages. In this episode of You're a Patient, I'm going to be talking about. Just going to get all those extra words out of here. And believe it or not, it has trouble saying Senese unless I write it a little weird from experience. Let's create that again, but let's take a quick peek and see what they came up with.
If you or someone you care for has trouble retracting the foreskin, it could be phimosis, a common condition that can affect males of all ages. In this episode of You're a Patient, Vic Senese explains the causes, symptoms, and treatment options for phimosis, helping patients and their families understand when to seek medical advice and what solutions are available.
So I kind of like that voice. So I can put this here as a
if you or someone you care,
that's the one I want to use. Now I'm going to show you something really crazy. This is really designed to produce music. So I'm going to take and bring in a music style rather than a narration, and we'll create a song out of that. You can create a song out of anything. And if those of you that have been watching the show realize all my shows have their own jingles for the intros and stuff. So intros and outros, I call it, in the business. But here I'm just going to show you what it's like if you decided to take those same words and use it to create a song.
or someone you care for has trouble retracting the foreskin. It could be for Moses, a common condition that can affect males of all ages. In this episode of You're a Patient, Vic Senese explains the causes, symptoms, and treatment options for phimosis, helping patients and their families understand when to seek medical advice and what solutions are available.
When I first started fooling around with that program, my wife was listening to it and she says, "Who is that singing?" And I said, "That's the computer making that voice." She said, "No, it's got to be somebody doing it." I'm like, "No, there's nobody there. It's all done by computer simulations." That's AI for you, folks. It's kind of scary and kind of a pretty cool tune, if you ask me. So again, you can use it for creating music. You can use it to create voices for narrations. It's all up to what you want to use. Now, Suno is a paid program. You have to pay money to get any reasonable number of stuff out of it. But I can tell you, go to Google Labs. This Lyria, Lyria, is their version of creating music. And it's not near as good as Suno, but the way Google's been going with stuff, it's going to be. So, whoops, here, that didn't get the right set of slides. All righty. For a complete I'm going to go back to there was supposed to be, let's see. Here we go. Now these are the right slides. So there's lots of choices out there in AI. Grok is one that is by Elon Musk, and it's really kind of taking off on its own too. Of course, he'll tell you it's the best, but you try him out. What I found is sometimes I'll use one over another, and sometimes I'll get better. One Grok could do something better than ChatGPT or better images than Gemini, Nano's Bananas. Although Nano Banana 2 just came out this week, and it's blowing me away. But I'll do a little comparison, a little side-by-side action for you. So let's do a demo and do that. I'm going to do a little demo here on Grok versus Gemini. We've seen what ChatGPT can do with this stuff. So I'm going to take and ask for it to draw out that thumbnail. I'm going to go directly into Gemini, which means I go into create an image, and I'm going to actually throw my prompt in here. So sometimes you can get it to do all the work on post vasectomy pain long term. Let's see what it comes up with. In the meantime, while it's working, let's go over to Grok and do the same thing. We're going to tell it to do that. We do want to make sure it knows that we're creating images long term. So pretty much a hit on getting the words correct. It did everything itself, so I didn't have to clue it anything else. And not too bad either. I like this one's a little more colorful, but kind of gets the same idea. The only problem when I use Gemini is this is the wrong format. You need 16 by 9, these long thing for thumbnails. So that's one of the downsides of using Gemini for that. That's why I use Flow, which is part of Gemini, Nano Banana, but it's one that I can tell it for sure you have to make it like this. But you can kind of do a lot of the same things that we normally do. So I'm going to do what the name of that. I'm going to tell it to write 3 titles, a long description, SEO. Think harder means it'll do more research. And so here we go. Here's our long description. Here's our 3 titles: post-vasectomy pain syndrome, living with chronic post-vasectomy pain, what men need to know long-term, post-vasectomy pain terms. Yeah, really does a good job all by itself. All right, so you can see that your options are picking one versus the other or trying it for both. Sometimes you see one will do a little better job than the other. So more is better. Grok also, I think it's free, although I have a paid subscription, which might be why I get better images or stuff. So I can't promise it is. All right, we're getting close to the end. I hope I haven't lost anybody yet, but here we go. Now for my my final thing here. This is just a little reminder, folks, when you're using AI, remember with great power comes great responsibility, especially in healthcare. Always verify your AI outputs. Never input protected healthcare information. HIPAA still applies. Remember, AI is a tool. Your professional license is your responsibility. And I really think that you'll find out, the way I found out, is the real power behind all of this comes from combining tools. As I showed earlier on, I used ChatGPT to write the prompt to prompt AI to create the images, and I can do the images on Flow. So I'm using 2 different things. One of the things I found out is that the AI is really good at prompting itself. So use it that way. So if you're not a prompter or promptologist, as they like to call it, then, don't be, worried about trying to come up with something and have it not be the best thing that you can get for you. So, now you guys have all stuck around. Those that have stuck around, I should say, I got a special treat for you, and I'm just kind of looking for it. Oh yeah, here it is. So I'm going to show you the real magic that comes with using AI. And this is, I hope it blows your mind like it does mine, because I still can't understand how I do it sometimes. A lot of my family asks me why I do it sometimes. But one of the things is, I told you I'm a musician, so I've actually spent a lot of time creating music. And I wrote songs in the early part of my, life. Nothing I got famous for, folks, but we did write our own original material. Plus, we did a lot of cover material back in the day, a long time ago. So anyway, now that I've got this renewed interest in music writing again, I know the structure for writing different songs, how things should be composed. I started using FAUNA to do some of the creation work. One of the things about that program, Suno, is that you can actually upload recordings that we've made as a band earlier on, and it'll use that as a model for your voices and stuff. So we get kind of realistic to our own voices. But anyway, so my wife had always told me, hey, how come you never write a song about you and I, or more particularly her probably? And I just never did. So I decided, well, I'm going to live up to that promise. So I decided to write a song about her and I. Now I use Suno to help me. I wrote the lyrics. It wrote the music that went along with it. I told it what theme and feeling I want. And then I decided, well, that's nice, but I could make this a little better. What if I made a video, music video out of it? Okay, that's a challenge. So I went back and I grabbed an old picture of her and I when we were first dating. And I grabbed a picture of her and I a little more recent, because it fell in the words that I used for the song. And the way I came up with the song is I thought of some things like, what's our favorite colors? What do we do for a living? The places we like to go, foods that we like to eat, things that everybody has in common. And you can use that as a base to build the song on. So I created the song. I know, bear with me, I'm getting long-winded here. Then I went and I created the video. Now I used the video with Flow, that animation. I took these old pictures, put them in, and I told it to create a Disney style looking animation of my wife and I. So it'll be interesting, and then created everything else. So now it's really a cartoon. So I'm creating my own music video cartoon animation from AI, and you be the judge. So I'll bring that up, and then we're gonna see what you think.
Vic was patching up a fishing line. Jody walked by looking mighty fine. Like Delacalia was shining that day. He dropped his tackle box and forgot what to say. A nurse and a banker, who could have guessed that a red car and green dress would look this blessed? From Delacalia to Chicago town, they'll eat deep dish pizza and just drive around, sharing dark chocolate like it's high romance, laughing so hard they can't keep their stance. Vic and Jody, oh what a team. Red car, green dream, and a windy city scene. Vic's got scrubs, Jody's counting the cash. Together they make a heck of a splash. He saves lives, she saves money, and their sense of humor is sweet like honey. They've got dark chocolate, they've got the key. Love's sweeter than a Chicago marquee. From Delacalia to Chicago town, they'll eat deep dish pizza and just drive around, sharing dark chocolate like it's high romance, laughing so hard they can't keep their stance. Vic and Jody, oh what a pair. Love's in the air, and in navy pea. Green's her color, red's their ride. He's got a stethoscope, she's got the guide. Together they dream, together they scheme, turning Chicago into their love scene. From Delacalia to Chicago town, with every mile, love's more profound, sharing dark chocolate, singing this tune, dancing by the beat under a Chicago moon. Vic and Jody, love's true art. Windy City stole their heart.
Well, there you have it. That's what I was able to create using all that AI. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them into the comment box. I'll be glad to stick around and answer a few questions, but that's the end of my AI presentation. All I can say is it's a great tool. You need to use it responsibly, but it used to hallucinate like crazy and you couldn't really count on it for any accuracy. Now it's super accurate, and it brings up the actual literature that it's researching, the research papers and stuff. So it's useful even for our, healthcare uses. So, and the fact that it can create these slides and things that, are much easier than trying to create your own slides, which is what I would do, is use the art stuff to try to create slides. And there's a lot of limits when you start doing medical. I don't think there's got to be some AI engines out there for medical drawings, but the ones I have are not super capable right now, but they're coming along. So, and hopefully I see some comments saying you like the video. So that's good. That's one of many that I've created. We were going to Florida for vacation when we spent the whole month in Florida back in December. I think everyone knew we were remote, but I wanted some music for the drive going down. And I wrote an entire Christmas album, some pretty crazy songs that we listened to on the way down there. So it's gotten to be, and so it's gotten to be a nice hobby. My wife would call it an obsession, but it's fun to work with. So I will warn you, if you get started in it, sometimes you can go down that rabbit hole and spend a long time. So, all right, don't see anything else coming through here. So I'm going to play our promo for next week's show.
In this episode, host Vic Senese sits down with Jason Kim, MD, to explore lean ambulatory urodynamics. Traditional urodynamics testing provides valuable information, but only within the artificial environment of the clinic or lab. Glean ambulatory urodynamics changes the game by allowing clinicians to collect bladder data while patients go about their normal daily activities. This real-world data may offer deeper insights into conditions such as overactive bladder, urinary incontinence, voiding dysfunction, and complex LUTs that are difficult to reproduce in a clinical setting. Join us March 7th at 9 a.m. Central Time to learn more.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to learning more about this device. I did urodynamics for most of my career. And I always said the one problem with urodynamics is it's like taking a snapshot of something. You're getting, a very small period of time. And it's an artificial environment that you're creating, trying to check somebody's bladder. And, it's not a normal situation where you've got one or two people in a room watching somebody try to urinate. This Glean is a really neat device in that you get it put in, you go home with it, and just kind of have a routine schedule where you do your normal stuff and see what your bladder's doing. When's it's maybe contracting when it shouldn't. How hard is it squeezing when you're trying to urinate? Looks at a lot of things, a lot of great information that you get from urodynamics. And by the way, just as you saw, that promo was all done by AI. I've never sat down with Dr. Kim. I only met him over the internet, and that's how we're going to proceed next week. So join us next week for more, and hopefully get to try in some of these AI tools yourself and enjoy it. Have a great rest of your week.
So here's to the mornings, the coffee, the monitor glow, to the wisdom he shares and the folks that he knows. Saturday is special when Vic's on the stream with 40 years of knowledge and a head full of dreams.